welcome back to Ravenwood Farm, and yet again we seem to be starting a video on here with bales to collect. What is it about me on this map where I do some baling and then I just abandon it? So we've got a bunch of straw bales up on the smaller field. I think we finished the last video with tipping the oats that we had harvested from here straight in to the silo, and I need to add in the sell price trigger mod so that we can get those sold at a good price. Actually, more realistically, it might be getting them sold at whatever price we get when we wrap this series up. So today's video, we are going to be getting these bales in some storage, selling some of the silage, taking care of the animals, and pushing through to the silage harvest, the May silage harvest that we have not done. I've not done one in a Let's Play yet. We might look at using a something interesting for the forage harvesting. Is it Skywalker Farms, I think, has released some old modded self-propelled forage harvesters, or some older ones, so I think we might have a look at using one of those as a bit of a test, including if you've watched the channel for a while, the old New Holland one that I use loads on Sandy Bay, and the intent is that that will be making a reappearance on Calmsden. But we might give it a test on here today just to see how it runs, because I've not used it yet. So, but he does have some other ones on his website, so I'm gonna have to skip a bunch of months, days. So while I'm doing that, I will be going onto his itch.io site and having a look at what the options are. So this is probably maybe the penultimate episode on here, and we'll be looking at moving to, I think, Westby, Wisconsin, with probably a start from scratch, maybe new farmer, because it's quite a big map, and I do like to have one bigger farm. I just think it offers a bit of variety in the gameplay style, so might start a new farmer, which would give us a bit more cash than start from scratch. And Westby, I've not really had a look around the map, but I have watched Kadurk Farms, Kadurk, I don't know, play that map, and it looks really cool. Lots of different options for farms to run. It's got some slightly different feed mechanics from the base game, which will make it a bit more interesting while we wait for Maize Plus, which hopefully is not too far away. We still have the bale trailer lease, so I'm actually going to return that because we don't need that anymore, I think. We will keep the conveyor belt because that's going to be useful for loading up silage, and I think, what's the status of our BGA at the moment? We've got a bit of manure in there, and we are busy selling electricity. We've got a fair bit of space though, so yeah, I think we will. I'm in pounds. Again, Giants, can we please save our currencies with our games? I think we'll stick a trailer load of silage into that BGA as well, so that can be processing while I then get on with feeding animals and selling manure. Probably got some milk to sell. I'll do all that as a time lapse, and then maybe we'll come back to talk through the silage harvest. Depends how it works out with recording it and timings and stuff, but we may do that. We may come back for the silage harvest. If not, it'll be time lapsed with commentary. So probably need to move the belt, I think. I think that pit's empty. As good as. pick up that little bit there. I do like how this is a little bit faster than it was in 19 and is electric. It's really cool. I guess that's probably because it's off of King's mod rather than Mod Hub, so maybe they are not so hot on, well, I know, maybe Giants are a bit hotter on things like the speed of some of these things, because the unload speed is also really good. But I think we've got plenty of silage there to at least put one trailer load full through the BGA. We could do another grass cut, but I don't want to on here. I don't think we need to. We have achieved most of our goals for this series, which was to learn how to run a cow farm. Right, so let's activate the silage as well. So this is my slightly tuned up modding welt BGA, and we are then putting the excuse me, thank you, then putting the output of the BGA through the electricity generator from the modular BGA pack. This is a little bit of a bottleneck. If you look in the productions, this is selling quite slowly compared to the rate that we are producing electricity, and that's partly because this BGA is running at about 10 times faster than it should. But again, it was more experimentation, so we could put the digestate to selling, but we don't need to. We've got the electricity and the methane on distributing, and then we probably want to activate that as well, and then we're selling electricity and methane through the generator. I will be doing a video on the modular BGA pack and how to set up the modular BGA, because it can be much better than the in-game ones with some different combinations. So I think that's enough of an intro. We will get into the time lapse of getting some animals sorted and stuff, and I might come back to you when we do the silage harvest. If not, future me will take you through it anyway. He doesn't come back. He's useless. Now, I end up doing it all as time lapse, but first we are going to sell some milk to raise some cash. Something that I have learned from doing this video is you can chop corn green. So we don't need to go all the way through to ready to harvest. So I end up chopping it in August, which is 2 months early, which is pretty cool. So yeah, we are going to get fairly soon to a silage harvest, which you'll have probably seen from the thumbnail. I'm going to upgrade the feed wagon because I'm getting fed up of this little tiny one, so we'll sell that and buy the Farsin, I think. Need to borrow a little bit of cash. I've been paying back the loan as we've been going with the BGA income, so not too worried about that. And it gives us a much bigger feed wagon, which means I don't need to mix quite so many loads of feed, which is nice. Using that little 11,000 litre one is not really practical with so many cows, so just trying to work out how many bales to put in. And I think we're going for 2 bales of hay, and then the rest silage for this mix. I do end up then putting a bit of straw in as well, because we get very close to being at the max of silage. And with the cool feature of FS22 where you can empty part of a bale into something, which seems massively unrealistic. I guess maybe not, maybe you cut the bale open and take part of it. So yeah, we're going to put in a hay bale and some silage. Okay, that seems to have worked. I recorded this a few days ago, and in fact it was before the weekend, so give me a break. Yeah, and I'm reversing in here because of the very unfriendly terrain at the other end. So I ended up downloading quite a cool forage harvester while we go through more BGA type stuff, just getting the slurry cleared out now, which was from Skywalker Farms itch.io. I'll try and remember to put a link in the description for that. It's an older class one. It's not massively old. When we get up to it, it does say the date in there, so it's not massively old, but it is older, and it's quite cool. I really liked it. It worked really well. Decided to buy the dairy. What I should have done first is sell the milk to the dairy, and then we are pretty much full instantly, because productions are kind of meh in FS22. Right, off to pick up this forage harvester. Going to lease it because we can't afford to buy it. But there we go. It is from 2001 to 2005. And it comes with its own header, which is really cool. Big fat jewels on the front. And we're also going to release another Power Cube trailer so that we can run 2 tractors and a bit of auto drive. Just to do it because I haven't done it in a while. So yeah. Not that one, that one. Probably this was going to be the last video, but there is a rather amusing incident at the end, which means I'm going to have to do another video to recover from what happens at the end of the video. If you're on, I think I've mentioned it on Discord, I've mentioned it to a couple of people that I chat to privately. Yeah, we get some really random behaviour, and I don't know if it's a 1.3 thing or if it's just I got unlucky, but definitely worth sticking around for. And there is an outtake at the end as well. I'm trying to do that for videos now. So yeah, we're in August. The crop is probably a growth state before fully ready, and we are able to get it harvested. So I'm going to use auto drive to cart so that I can run the forage wagon, which is how forage harvester, which is how I prefer to do things generally when I'm actually playing the game. And we are going to link up to the existing network that we have, and then I want to set up 2 dump points. So that we don't end up with just one big pile. We'll set it up so that each trailer empties separately. So you'll see me do that in a moment. I don't set the waypoints in there. I'll come back and do those, just because I find it works better to record the whole route first. So we'll move. We need to move the milk tanker out of the way because that might cause an issue with collisions, and then we're probably going to need to move that low loader as well. I'm just going to loop around and set up another route for the case. So yeah, this should give us a slightly easier to manage pile, and then we can just link that back in. And I've set 2 waypoints up and got auto drive going on the 2. And if there are some dodgy cuts in the next few videos, that's because OBS updated and keeps occasionally stopping recording, and I don't notice because I'm recording a lot of these on my laptops and the OBS is in the background, so I don't see that it stopped recording, which is really frustrating. And we're now seeing the delights of auto drive working out what it's doing as we go around headlands. You can see, I think this class forage harvester looks awesome. It's a really nice mod. It seems to work really well. The 6 meter header was just about big enough for this field. 9 meter would have been nice, and I could have probably got higher horsepower to run a 9 meter header if I wanted. But we're going to stick a couple of headlands in, and then we'll get stuck into this. Going to do a mixture of me running the forage harvester, me carting, and me compacting the pit, because we don't want to make the mistake we made on Calmston, which I sort of end up doing again because auto drive won't compact as it unloads. So let's get the case going as well. This needs fuel, so whilst we get fuel we can watch the Fent unload and check that that's going to work okay, which it seems to do just fine, which is awesome. Always worry when you do the first tip, particularly when you're recording. So the Fent is probably going to pick up carting for us on this job straight away, and the case will wait for the next one. I really struggled to get the pre-cool to work. I tried, so I've obviously done tutorial videos on this. I seem to have less success doing this than I did in the tutorials. There was a suggestion to set the pre-cool level to 0%, and that didn't seem to work. The wait wasn't too long compared to the waits for some of the corners, so I just kind of waited. I was hoping it would do better given that there's a whole load of space there for it to turn around, but nope. And here comes our second carter, I think, or maybe the first one is off to unload. Yeah, the first one's off to unload, so. But again, not too long a wait for it to loop around and get us going. And I've done a couple of silage harvests or maize harvests for tutorial videos, but this is my first one in a Let's Play, and it was kind of cool. I do like forage harvesting. And because of auto drive, and I end up using the base game worker, which I don't use very often, I can do all of the jobs and just kind of experience all of it, which is really cool. I do like auto drive for carting. It's generally mostly what I use it for. I don't often use it for delivering things. I'll occasionally use it to move stuff across the map, but not so often lately for bulk selling of stuff. I did in 19 a bit, when I had huge amounts of crop to get rid of, but not so much in 22 yet. So just the Fent coming back across, and we'll see how the case does for its first unload. And you'll see here that we get a second pile, which is quite cool. We are definitely going to need to get something in here compacting, and I do miss that functionality that I used to use in course play, where you could just record a very simple backwards and forwards course and it would compact for you. And off we go again. A little bit of in-cab work, not something I do very often. So yeah, there's going to be one more video on this series, and if you stick around to the end, you'll see why I couldn't end it at the end of this video. It was quite amusing, quite confusing, quite frustrating, and glad I had the video running, because otherwise I would have been in a complete what the hell just happened. Whereas I could go back and watch the video. And yes, I'm kind of, it's not clickbait, but you know what I mean. I'm kind of trying to encourage you to stick around. And while we wait for you to stick around, if you're not already, click the subscribe button and turn on notifications for my regular videos. And hit the like and leave me a comment, and we are going to lease ourselves a 9RX to do the compacting just for the hell of it. I thought it would be fun. I don't often use these huge tractors, and I picked basically the heaviest tractor that there is in base game, because I didn't have many mods installed for huge tractors. So yeah, this is 20 odd tons, which should compact silage quite nicely, I thought. And we've just got a standard silage leveler on the back. So in doing a bit of carting now, again trying to do all the different jobs. That has confused auto drive a bit, because it was also wanting to cart. So yeah, you can see we've made a bit of progress on compacting the pit here. We're getting ourselves a nice little ramp of silage, which does pique my interest in a moment, and that is there is an outtake at the end of it's quite rampy, isn't it? Yeah. I decided to do some less serious stuff. So again, stick around till the end for that as well. You'll see the random thing that happens, and you'll see some stupidness with ramps of silage. Getting close to the end of the field now, and I think I'm in the class at the moment. John Deere provided me with a nice set of overalls to come with the 9RX. Maybe it was really messy inside. But yeah, so we're driving a class forage wagon, forage harvester, fully kitted out in our John Deere gear. But that's okay, because we're going to be jumping back in the 9RX very soon. Really quick work of this field. So yeah, the next video we will be addressing the issue that appears in a moment, and then getting the pit compacted and kind of wrapping this series up somehow. Probably won't bother waiting for this silage to ferment, I don't think. Might jump ahead so we can get it through the BJ. BJ is making us quite a lot of money now with the generator on the back. It's doing really nicely. So the days that I skipped, I was basically alternating putting slurry and manure through, which is why we made a reasonable amount of money. We just need to wait for a carter to come along to pick us up for this last little bit, and then I'm going to manually tip the trailers into the pit. And you'll see there's a pickup truck there as well, which I'm not sure why that's there. Keep watching. But this is where the randomness happens. Any second now. Yeah, we go flying across the map. We go from full to empty, and just launch ourselves completely across the map at 100 miles an hour. We'll try and fix this next time. Thanks for watching, folks. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff, and stick around for the outtake, which is not really an outtake, it's me being a bit stupid in the truck. So yeah, it looked very rampy, and one of the carters is coming back, so I thought I'd try and launch myself at the case. Didn't really get enough speed up, but yeah, bit of stupidness. Catch you next time.